In today's video, I'm gonna reveal to you how I have a 5 to 6% conversion rate in my Etsy store that's done over $1 million in revenue. Generally, most stores actually have a 1 to 3% conversion rate. And what this actually means in practice is that I'm actually getting 1 to 6 times more the sales than the average Etsy shop. And I think the main reason for this is honestly because of my listing images. So that's what we'll focus on today. Now, when I sell on Etsy, I actually use a process called print on demand. How it works is that I research what product to sell, which niches to sell in, and how to sell it using a software called Everbee. Once I've done all that research, I create a design, and then once I have the design set based on the research, I put that design on top of a blank image of a product, let's say a t-shirt. Then I take the image with my design on top of the blank product and put it up on a marketplace like Etsy. Once the listing is there on Etsy and it sells, I connect the order to a production partner on Printify, which completely fulfills and ships my items, which makes me as a seller not have to incur any risk with inventory, which is super good. Now, if you're a beginner and you're in the starting stages of your Etsy store, then the overwhelm is huge. So I think it's really important to just get the core offer there, and then you can optimize later on. So if you're a beginner, I recommend getting a proven thumbnail, a size chart, and making a guarantee. That's the core of an offer that will actually convert well in 2025. Now, when I basically say that you need to get a proven thumbnail, I think it's really important to have a process to just easily find proven thumbnails. So the best way that I do it, and the easiest way in my opinion to do it, is let's say that I want to sell the Gildan 18,000 sweatshirts that are super popular. I then go to Etsy and then I just search for sweatshirts. After that, I mainly want to see the best sellers because this is a huge keyword and it will rank a lot of stuff. So I go all filters. I'm a Swedish POD seller here, and usually it can actually say delivery to Sweden because it can auto filter to the country that I'm viewing Etsy from. So I'm always gonna make sure that it says delivery to the US, since that's my target market. I then go and apply the physical items filter and the star seller filter. I then go to the search bar here and swap out star for best. What this gives me is all of the listings now on the first page here is only physical items, but it's only best sellers. It makes it super easy to just get really good search results to just see the best sellers. Now, to find a proven thumbnail, we want to see the same thumbnail in different best-selling listings. So let's see if we can find one mockup that shows up in different best-selling listings here. Let's see. So here's two that are this is the exact same mockup, the green one here. We found a third one too. Let's continue scrolling, but we have a really obvious one now. These are ads, but they will still be bestsellers because of how I filtered everything. So this is kind of the thing that I'm looking for here. So here are 3 different shops, I think. Yeah, 3 different shops with the exact same thumbnail, but with different designs on them. And this shows us that this specific thumbnail, I know this just from experience, but this is the Gildan 18,000 in sand. But this specific mockup of the Gildan 18,000 in sand is a proven thumbnail because we can just see in the same search results here, we can see that it's like it was here, but now like the video is popping up like the one that's showing. But 3 times in search results, we could find that specific mockup, and it's the exact same mockup. And here it is once again. So this is the proven thumbnail that we also want to use in our listing. And the best way when it comes to this POD stuff is that usually we can actually find this specific thumbnail on Etsy itself. So as I mentioned, that's the Gildan 18,000 mockup in sand. So we'll just search for Gildan 18,000 mockup sand. And there it is at the top of the search page here. So what I would do here is buy this specific mockup and use this specific mockup as my thumbnail myself. But it's really important to use this kind of process because one of the main variables to actually get sales is this first thumbnail image. And the easiest way to do it, like I'm a lazy person, I want to make sure that I just get to the results with the least amount of effort. The easiest way to do it, like I've tried so many different ways, but the easiest way is to just use the same mockup that they're using because it works. So I would buy this specific mockup and use that as my thumbnail. Now, as I mentioned, there are 2 core things that we need. We also need a size chart. And the great thing about Etsy here too is that we can just search for Gildan 18,000 size charts. Like these don't cost that much. So I would just recommend to get something like this or something like this and use that within your shop. Now, a lot of these stores actually use videos. We'll touch on that later on too, because videos are a great way to increase the perceived likelihood of achievement, and they can really add to your listing, but we'll touch on that later on. So now we have the proven thumbnail and a size chart, since we would buy one of these. And just use those in our listings. Now, the third thing is that we need to create a guarantee. Now, what a guarantee is that if you don't have any reviews in your store, then it's really risky from a customer standpoint to actually purchase from you. So what a guarantee does is that it alleviates some of that risk and puts it back on us, the sellers. So your guarantee can basically say, if you're unhappy for any reason, you can contact us within 7 to 14 days of delivery and get either a replacement or a refund. What this does is that it alleviates a lot of the risk from the customer and puts it back on us, the sellers. And now we also want to ensure that we have a proven mockup for this too, because we will display our images always with images of the product itself. So we want to find one more proven mockup. The most important one still is the sweatshirt. But like how we actually display our items in our shop is how we ensure that we can build some trust with the sellers. Because if it looks off, then it feels off usually for the seller. It's usually for the buyer to buy something off of you. So as the guarantee mockup, for instance, you could use this green one, for instance, here that's popping up like here, like in this one, and in this one, and this one, and this one. So I would definitely recommend to use something like that as the guarantee, for instance, in this case. Now we basically know that we have a proven thumbnail, we have the size chart, and now we need to just take the image and create a guarantee with it. I have this mockup here that I use just as an example, but what you basically can do here is that you can have this say guarantee, and it's just like, so the guarantee should still display the product and the design on top of the product too, because everything is just so visual with Etsy. So it's important to always display the product every time, because people want to be reminded of the thing that they're actually purchasing. So how I would do it and how I would recommend it is to either have like the text here, or you can have it also like onto the left here. But you put your guarantee here, and then you put like the text underneath that. And it's important, super important, to be really short and concise with the information, because people just take a look at this with a glance. So something like this is something that I would recommend when it comes to using a guarantee and creating a guarantee for your store. Then you would display the design on top of it. And then it's important to always change the transparency, for instance. Like this is a monogrammed Christmas design. It's always important to just lower the opacity a little bit to ensure that it looks a little bit more real. But yeah, if you're a beginner, I would just strongly recommend to start off this way. Have these 3 core images and just get going, because that's the core of a really good offer in an Etsy store in 2025 and onwards. Now, to create some more value, I always think of the Hormozi value equation. And we want to display our offer using this. So when it comes to this, the Hormozi value equation, an important thing to just enhance the offer. He talks about enhancers in his book, $100 million offers, which can be really applied into our Etsy listings. And bonuses, for instance, is something that can just really enhance the listing itself and make it feel more vibrant and feel more alive and feel more appealing to a customer. And that's by using video mockups. So let's say that you have a shirt, for instance. Then it's really important to use a video mockup of someone actually wearing the shirt and they're moving around with the shirt, so that the person can actually get a grasp of how the shirt will look when they have it, how it will fit on top of them. So I use Placeit for this. It's really good, a really good service for finding video mockups. So you can just go to placeit.net, find video mockups, and then choose whichever fits best, as long as it matches the product you're selling. But you always want to use something like this or something like this, so people can get a sense of how the fit actually is on them with the design in it too. So we definitely recommend Placeit for this. Apart from that, you can also use different mockups within the listing. So if we just look here in this listing here, for instance, like you have different colors displayed within the different listing images, and that's a great way to just add some bonuses into the listing, so that they can so that the customer can get a better grasp on how the design looks on just different types of colors. Same thing here. Different types of colors and different types of colors. So this is a bonus which makes the listing more appealing, because they can get a sense of how it looks on different types of sweatshirt colors. And again, this is mainly when you have gotten going and want to optimize conversion rate. So if you got some sales and now you see that your conversion rate isn't really up there, then I would strongly recommend to focus a lot on your listing images and get that sorted using this format, but only once you get going. Now, another thing that's really important when it comes to this is to include how to order instructions. And that consists mainly of a color chart. And if you can summarize like some text saying that, for instance, how to order image, it will look something like this. how to order 1, and then choose the size of the sweatshirt, and then like 2. Like, you would obviously need to design this a bit better, but the outline of it and the format should still be kind of like this. And then 2, choose the color. I mean, this seems kind of obvious to us sellers, but to customers that are browsing this and looking at it for like 5 seconds, this just enhances and makes it easier for them to actually purchase. And again, you would obviously like design this so it looks a bit better than this, because this is a bit too basic, but the general outline again and general format still stays the same. Press add to carts, something like this. So if you want to make an how to order image, it's something like this that you would add into the listing, but you would obviously design it a bit better, but so it looks a bit more cohesive and just better all in all, because this looks a bit janky as it is right now. Another part to this too, let's say that you offer, for instance, express delivery. That's one of the main things that Hormozy talks about here. That one of the main variables to actually get sales. We want to decrease this as much as possible. Like, the faster someone can get it, the better the offer is. So let's say that you have an express delivery option at checkout. Then you really want to display that too. You could do that within the how to order, like within this image. If we just design it a bit better, let's see here. You could basically just add like a tidbit onto this and just say, if you want express delivery available at checkout or something like that. Something like that. You could do like something like this. Again, it needs to be super straight to the point and concise, because people view this really, really fast. And they make purchases decisions generally quite kind of fast, all based on emotion, honestly. And then maybe we can like raise this a bit. Do like this, maybe. And then maybe do like express delivery available checkout. Again, this would need to be like touched up to look better. I'm just doing this to show you the general outline of it. People needs to know these things kind of fast in order to actually understand the offer that you're selling. And express delivery is a great thing to offer to just enhance the offer itself. So showing it something like this would definitely help. Just express delivery available checkout if you have that kind of option in Etsy. Another really important thing too, if you want to optimize the listing, is to use a color chart. So for instance, if I view this listing, they have this color chart here. What I would recommend is that you put, like, if you want to use something like this, then I would rather recommend that you actually put the design on top of each of these different color images, because that gives the customer a better understanding of how the design will look on top of the different colors. But a color chart is really important too. Once you want to optimize the listing, make the offer better and optimize conversion rate. But I would not use something like this. For instance, these types of colors will look on, for instance, the forest green color. I have no idea how this dark color here, like dark brown color here, will look on the forest green. But if I would see an image of it, like the design on top of the forest green color, that would make it so much easier to actually understand if the forest green color is the one that I want. So I would use a color chart and basically just display the design on top of each colored sweatshirt. And the last thing that I think is a really good thing to use as well, because again, people view this super fast, and that's to use one image for social proof. You can just take a couple of your shop reviews and just combine some of those 5 stars in one and the same image and use that as a listing photo as well, because that just gives you social proof and shows that a lot of people have had a great experience with your shop. Social proof has always been a good thing to show in the listing, even though it shows here. It just validates it more. I would definitely recommend to have that in your store as well. It's something that definitely helps. And how you can do that too is that you can just copy the text. Like, you can just take their first name and then just say, I would also recommend to display it with a design. But instead of having like this, you can have it say, for instance, either like something like more like experiences or something like that. Or you can just have it say reviews and just basically, like, if I would just take the experience that this person had, her name is Lisa, then you can just do like Lisa, or maybe even like do something like this, something like that. Then you can include some stars above here just to make it more obvious that this is a review. And then you can just do a couple of these underneath here, just some social proof basically to show that you are a proven and validated store. But again, all of this is once you've actually gotten going and have some reviews, because this optimizes your conversion rate. And if you're in the beginning stages, I would strongly recommend you just focus on the thing that I mentioned at the beginning, getting a proven thumbnail, a size chart, and a guarantee, because that's the core offer that you need to have nowadays on Etsy. But yeah, that's that. If you want to learn more about design, which is the main variable to actually get sales on Etsy, I would suggest watching this video right here. Anyhow, Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.